one of the greatest legends of rock and roll, is with us right now. The great Gene Simmons. Hey, Gene, Steve Harvin here. Lincoln Kennedy, Vic the Brick. How are you, Gene?
Wow, that introduction gave me a Woody. I feel very good now.
Feeling you, Simmons.
All right, you know what, Gene, we're in your wheelhouse because I was telling a guy's story, 1977, when your Kiss Alive 2 album came out. I'm 19 years old, a student at UCLA. I'm wearing this thing out, right? And I remember my dad, my dad is a big Glenn Miller guy. You know, like when Glenn Miller's plane went down during the war, that's the end of music. So my dad, curious, comes in to see what his, 19-year-old son's listening to. I said, check it out, Dad. He takes the album and throws it against the wall. You got to be proud of that, Gene. That's when I knew that I was definitely tuned into the right stuff with you guys.
You have to say something about that, but you also have to tip your hat to Benny Goodman and all the great music that went before it. You know, there's something for everybody, and we pride ourselves for one thing. 37 years ago, we started on our first tour, if you can believe that. And here we are in Buffalo again. And I will tell you, it's as much of a thrill now as it was then. There's a real sense of, I don't know, fulfilling your own sort of mandate. You know, you throw the gauntlet down, and you will only be as good as you dare to be. A long time ago, we started actually saying something kind of weird. Everybody thought, boy, these guys must have king-size balls. You wanted the best, you got the best. The hottest band in the world, Kiss. Now, either we were delusional or we were deadly serious about going out there and forgetting about the past and what people say or what they think. It's just like here and now, we are going to kick your nuts in.
Gene, does it ever get old?
It's, you know what, so far so good. As I sit here on my throne on Mount Olympus, the view is pretty damn good.
That's all right.
Gene, I went to high school in Forest Hills, Queens, with Joey Ramone of the Ramones. I know you went to school in the streets of New York. Who were your major influences? What is the genesis of Kiss?
Well, the Ramones have one gold record. We have 41.
Tell it.
I beg your pardon?
I said tell it. I wasn't comparing gold records. I'm just saying, you know, I'm from a rock and roll background in Queens. I know your rock and roll background, very rich and fertile.
We all grew up with English stuff. The English versions of rock were much more to my liking. The American bands were sloppy and ugly, like, I don't know. They just didn't have the style that the English had. When you take a look at the English bands, starting with the Beatles to the Stones and on to Zeppelin and all the great English bands and the Who and so on, it just left American stuff in the dirt. Now, of course, rock and roll started here, but along the way, everybody forgot that the stage was holy ground. So you had a lot of dirty-looking hippies getting up on stage, and they forgot a simple idea that when people come to see a concert, they don't just want to hear the music, they want to see stars, which is why to this day, when you think about rock star in movies, he usually comes across with an English accent, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's interesting about that. Now, you have a mother that is a Hungarian immigrant. My mother is a Hungarian immigrant. Vic's mother is a Hungarian immigrant.
Mine isn't, though, guys.
See, my mother never taught me any Hungarian. Again, yes is about it.
Yeah,
my mother's maiden name is Moskovitz, as is Vic's mother's maiden name. My mother actually is a Holocaust survivor from Hungary.
We're wacky Hungarians, Simmons.
Wacky Hungarians. You know, the Hungarians are the vestiges, the only European country, of the original Mongol invasion. There were three of them. They were the Huns, the Magyars, and the Tatars. And the Magyars were one of the three. See, you're getting a history lesson.
I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, in fact, Magyarország, which is the name of Hungary in Hungarian, actually means land of the Magyars. In other words, they're Mongols that settled there and, intermarried with the local population.
Wow, this is just a treat. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Well, this is the connection, for Gene. Your wild roots of creativity are everywhere. Of course, from Hungarian, Israeli parents. But what were your inspirations, growing up, to form the band, to go? What particular specific English bands really turned you on?
Well, first and foremost, it was America itself that influenced me completely. The idea, when I first came to America, I turned on television and I saw things that didn't have any limits. People flew through the air. Superman, nowhere else in the world. People don't have that. If you go to other countries, their heroes are the Scarlet Pimpernel. They ride horses. They do all sorts of cornball things. In America, our heroes fly through the air. And the science fiction world and the monster world and all that kind of stuff, it's a land of, I don't know, of the imagination. So anything I could imagine, you could literally do. Almost anything I ever tried succeeded beyond my wildest dreams, but that's because it's in America. You guys work hard. You have radio and you're successful and people listen to you. You take the same you and you stick you in Zimbabwe, and I don't care how hard you work, you're not going to get anywhere. Because you need the infrastructure, the right people, so we're at the right place, we're at the right time, and hopefully we've got the right thing, and that's called America.
Gene Simmons is joining us now. The thing about you, Gene, is there are a lot of guys in rock and roll that are musicians. They love the lifestyle, but they lose sight of the business sense of what can be. You were very clear, it seems to me, from the beginning that you understood the business angle of being a rock and roll star.
Yeah, but if you believe in truth in advertising and you believe in full disclosure before the fact, if you take a look up there on the masthead, it actually does say music business. It doesn't say music. The word business is right up there. And it's up to you to become educated in it or in anything. Like whatever you do, do it well, find out everything you can about it because it directly impacts you. And if you don't do that, that's okay. You just have to be able to correctly pronounce, would you like some fries with that?
It is the hottest show on earth, the summer tour. They're in Buffalo right now. I can see Scranton coming up here, Washington, D.C., going to North Carolina, Milwaukee, Chicago, St. Paul, Toronto, into your city, Detroit. It is absolutely amazing. The band that will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know how you got bypassed this year for ABBA, but that was a mistake, Gene. Next up, you'll be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Gene, we appreciate the time. Let's do it again sometime.
My pleasure.
There he is,
Gene.
the great Gene Simmons of KISS. By the way, the show with Shannon Tweed, his longtime partner, and their two kids is hilarious. It really is.
Tremendous
Family
TV.
Jewels.
Love Gun. Give me a love gun. Oh, my. It's just my...
In concert,
go crazy.
All
right, from Gene Simmons to Rick Fox. From Gene Simmons to Rick Fox.
Foxy, I love the transition.
And then Randy Johnson. What a show.
We got to do it, baby. We got to move on.
Hartman and Friends. One final time. Steve Lincoln of ETB.
Come on, y'all.
On Fox Sports Radio.